Hi everyone, Ashley here. I just wanted to tell you about a new feature I've just noticed in Zoho CRM, and it's called Timeline View. As far as I can tell, it's only available to users of CRM for Everyone, which is like the new version of Zoho CRM. So if you see a button for that, for you to upgrade your account or move over to CRM for Everyone, I would definitely do that because I think that's the way it's going anyway. So let's jump over to the CRM, and I've got a module set up here called Jobs. This is a really common type of module that we create for a lot of clients because there's always kind of a need for scheduling, and until now it's just been a list of jobs and the start and the end date, which isn't very visual. It's kind of difficult for planning, and we do occasionally from time to time look at using other solutions like Zoho Creator to create a more visual scheduling application. In this case now, looks like we can do it here in Zoho CRM. So I've got my list of 3 jobs there, and I've set some statuses and some assignees. If I click the record views, there's now an option for timeline view. So if I click on that, it does what it says, and it shows you those records on a timeline. So this is fantastic. This is a massive game changer for a lot of people. And it definitely opens up the CRM to more possibilities and being able to manage more work through the CRM. So it's got lots of nice features here. The first time that you select it, you're going to get a menu pop up like this, just asking you to set some basic settings. So you need to tell the system what's the start date and what's the end date so that it can draw the bar. They can't be the same date, so you might have a situation where all of your jobs, you've just got a start date, so you will have to add in an end date. So I've got a start and an end. Date visibility, I've just got all days rather than working days only. Color by, so if you've set on your if you've got a drop down list in your record, so in my case I've got status, and you've color coded that status list, you can use the colors from that to color code the bars on the timeline view. So that's a really nice feature as well. And then you can choose up to 4 fields to display on the bars. So let's click save. That's the way I have it set up here. Another nice feature is the group by. So you will have noticed that I've got some assignees, so I can group by the assignee or any of those fields, but group by assignees. Now I can see all of the jobs that are assigned to Ashley, all of the jobs that are assigned to Sarah. As you add more records in here, this is gonna just stretch out, like everything that is assigned to Ashley is going to be listed there, because basically it does 1 line for every record. So I don't know if there's a limit to that, the number of records that can be displayed, but I would recommend that you think about how you're going to filter that information. It does give you a nice filtering option here, filter by color, for example. So as you can see, I've got draft, provisional, and some other statuses. So if I only wanted to see what was in draft, I can just check that on, and now I can see all of Ashley's tasks that are draft. Is there one there for Sarah as well? Yeah, painting there for Sarah. So this would then help me schedule those, or confirm with the customer, or at least make a booking. So we can turn that off by clicking here and unchecking the box or choosing clear. We can also reposition these by dragging and dropping. So if I was speaking to the customer, let's say it's this yellow one here, and the customer says, oh, actually, no, that's a Saturday, I can't do that. Okay, we can do Monday though, so we're just going to drag and drop it onto Monday. So that's a really nice feature as well. Maybe we've decided as well that is now going to be a 2-day activity rather than a 3-day activity. I can just drag and drop that there, and now it's a 3-day activity. Absolutely fantastic. There are some limitations, and I'm sure that these will be improved over time. For example, I'd like to be able to change the status of that task from here, but at the present time, there doesn't seem to be any way. I can't click on that to change the status. So I would have to go and click on the name of the task to open the record, or you could do it as a Kanban view. And we've got that digging one there, so maybe I could now put that as confirmed. But I'd obviously have to know which record I was looking for. And if you've got a lot of records on here, that's probably going to be a bit awkward. So that's something I'd like to see. But look, it's not a lot of effort to just go to one of these and click on the record. It's just you might have to wait a second for it to open and then change the status. So going back to the timeline view, another thing that I've noticed is my start and end date fields were time and date. So they contain a start date and the time, which is 9 a.m, and an end time, which was 5 p.m, and it had whichever day this was, the 16th for this one. But you can't, or you at least you don't seem to be able to drag this out or visualize this by the hour. So it's just a day, you know, that's the option. Basically it's by the day. I've played around with that quite a bit, and there's no other option to do that. I've noticed as well, if you hover over the date, it will just do a little calculation there, and it will count how many jobs or records have an end date on that date and how many have a start date. That's not overly useful to me, but I can see how that would be, you know, some people may have a use for that. It's also nice that we can expand or contract these to show or hide different people's work. So, and obviously the timeline bar comes up there, and that does seem to move along out by the hour. So that is all looking pretty good. We can also change the scale to weeks if you prefer. And when you go like that, if the duration is shorter, in fact, sorry, no, I'm wrong. When you look at it like this, when it's not on the day view, then it does put the name of the task and the other options that you've chosen behind the task. I thought actually when you dragged it out to be a larger task that they would show up inside, but they do not. We can also use the buttons here to go forwards and backwards, and we can change the settings here again by clicking the cog. So that's pretty much it. I'm pretty excited about this. I know a lot of clients who are going to get great use out of this. I'd be really interested to see if and hear if you've got a use case for it. I'll see you in the next one.